Good morning. What is up, guys? Happy Monday. Let me fix this thing here. Happy Monday, guys. Today is day 24. Day 24 of our 30-day challenge. Man, we only got a couple days left. This week should be a really exciting week. We should have that one deal closing. This week, hopefully, we're just waiting on getting some back from the city to clear a title. But we should be able to get that back like today or tomorrow, and then hopefully set up closing. I would love for it to be like Wednesday or Thursday. That'd be cool. My guess is probably Thursday or Friday, but we'll see. So we've got that going on. We had a bunch of cool stuff happen last week. So we've got a bunch of offers and properties we want to make offers on to follow up this week. What else? What else do we have? There's not a whole ton of updates from over the weekend. A lot of stuff was really we were going to follow up on Monday. So that's what we'll be doing this morning. We'll be doing some follow-ups about offers. Friday. So I did a live stream with you guys, and then Friday I did a live call with Privy, right, where I was just kind of talking about Privy, showing their platform, how to use it, whatnot. So in there, I was kind of explaining some stuff. A lot of stuff. If you guys have been following through the challenge, you've seen me use Privy. You'll know kind of most of what that call was about. But in there, at the end of that call, it was awesome because people were kind of asking, well, how do you call these agents? How do you make offers? Like, how do you tell them you're wholesaling it and this and that? Dude, we called on a property and had an awesome conversation with an agent and literally got to show all of it firsthand. Right, we got to ask about the property. We got to learn some information. We got to talk about, when we got a lower price from the agent. Like, I think it was like 30K less, 30K less than what they had it listed at. We told him in there how we were going to be looking to wholesale the property. All of that. So that was super. So if you guys didn't catch that, I believe it should be on Nathan Payne's YouTube channel. If not, you can also check it out on the Privy YouTube channel. If you just type in like Privy Real Estate and go to their page, you'll be able to check it out. What is dinging on my screen? Something's dinging, like I got a notification. Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. So yeah, definitely check out that call. Yeah, that call with that agent was amazing. That's actually a property we're going to be going to make an offer on either today or tomorrow. Probably today. So that was, that's the update, guys. Other than that, we're going to jump right into it today. So let me get my screen set up. I hope you guys all had an amazing weekend. We had the birthday party for my son this weekend, and it was at his grandma's house, and we call her Nona, at his Nona's house, and she went all out. It was crazy. It was like a Wild One theme. He turned 1 year old, and it was nuts. It was amazing. So I had an awesome weekend. I hope you guys did. Oh, anybody catch that John Jones fight? If anybody's a UFC fan, I love UFC boxing. Man, that was crazy. Crazy. All right. Who cares about that, man? Let's talk some real estate. Oh, man, and we got a bunch of new Privy email deals. I love it. Okay, let me share my screen with you guys. Present. Oh, I gotta present over here first. All right. Okay, cool. Got the Infinity screen going over there. Yep. All right, let me present for you guys. Entire screen. Boom. Okay. So what do we got going on today? We've got a number of properties we wanna follow up on. This one's definitely a dead deal. I'm actually gonna leave this gold because I'm gonna follow up with this one in like a few weeks when they definitely don't sell it. This was the one that we had to cancel with that agent that was difficult. All right. So first and foremost, I want to get back in touch with Diana. So Diana, she was the one. Hi, Diana. So she was the one where she has that property where she had a partner and she was going to flip it. Like she was going to do the rehab and flip it herself, but then her partner backed out last minute. And so she's trying to figure out how to sell it. Hey, we're just going to call her. What am I doing texting? Crazy.
Please leave your message for 32131.
All right, so she just texted me. Sorry, I can't talk right now. No worries. Just wanted to reconnect and see how the offer went with the company you were hoping to work with. All right. We're being pretty direct. She's been like super transparent with us. The nice thing with her, or if you're talking with sellers where it's kind of that situation to where they're just like, yo, here's the situation. It's pretty cool. It's like you get to kind of cut out all the playing the games. It's really just like, hey man, here's everything I got going on. Like, can you help me? She said, okay, let me finish in a meeting. So that's good. The reason why that's good is because if you guys remember last week, so it's this property, if you guys remember, she had told us last week that there was like another person that was going to be getting back to her with an offer the next day. Okay, she said, let me finish the meeting, I'll call you. Okay, sounds good. Talk to you soon. Thanks. So she was like, yeah, I really want to work with them. They'll probably be the highest offer and they'll be back to me with an offer tomorrow. So we know that like they were by far her first choice. Like she was pretty straightforward and clear cut about that. So if she had accepted an offer with them, she would have just been like, yeah, sorry, I accepted an offer. But she's like, oh, let me call you, which means now she could call and be like, yeah, I accepted that offer. Thanks for your time. But chances are, my guess would be probably not, meaning the offer probably wasn't at a price that would be able to make sense for her. So we'll wait for her to call back in a little bit, and we'll go from there. What was the other one? So Robert, we remember this one. That wasn't able to be a fit. Monica's who we need to follow up with. Monica was the other one where she said she was going to talk with the seller this weekend. Now, if you guys remember this beauty. So now, if you guys remember, we offered pretty low on this house, but we gave her. We did it in a text. We spoke to her on the phone. They were like, hey, we're probably going to be around here. She I told her, I was like, hey, we're probably going to be at like 100. And what I did was I sent her a big long text with the price, the terms that we could do, and I gave a few comps, right? I gave a few addresses of somewhat similar properties nearby that sold. Now they were at higher prices. They sold the properties I sent her sold at like 130, 178, and 152. But the reason why I sent them to her because they were all flips. I'm pretty sure, yeah, all three of them were flips. That's what the investors bought them at, and they were way nicer. Like when they bought them originally, like they looked way better than this one did. Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. So let's call her up.
Hello, this is Monica.
Hey, Monica, it's Nathan. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Did I catch you in the middle of something?
No, how can I help you?
I was just calling to see how the weekend went and if you had a chance to chat with the seller. I know we had spoke with it on Friday, and I'd kind of texted you an offer that we could do, and I know you were gonna chat with him over the weekend, and sort of see what his thoughts were.
Yeah, so we didn't have a chance to touch base over the weekend. I'm trying to meet with him this afternoon. But if it's not this afternoon, then it'll be tomorrow. He's got a lot of appointments and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get with him, but I have no decision yet. I do have your information, and as soon as I talk to him, I'll be able to give you an update.
Okay, perfect. No problem. I totally understand. Yeah, but I'll just shoot you like a text or something tomorrow just to see if you had a chance to speak with him. And yeah, whenever you do, we can always reconnect.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Monica. Take care.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So that's where we're at with that one. So she hasn't spoke with him yet. Busy guy. All right. And then what was I going to do? There was now this property. Let me throw it in here. Now, guys, you notice how one thing I did there was I set the expectation for her to let her know, hey, I'm going to reach out to you again tomorrow, right? I'm letting her know, hey, like we're gonna keep speaking until we get in touch with the seller, or this is something I'm gonna keep on top of. What we don't want to do is we never want to make an offer and then just be like, well, we'll hear back from them, I guess. Like if they want to do something, or if they, you know what I mean? Like we never want that to be the case. We always want a timeline. If you're making an offer to a seller, there should be a hard timeline. The way I do my process is there is a specific timeline, 24 hours, that I use for them to make a decision. After that, we move on. Now, there's a way that I frame it and position it to where it's like it's super ninja, works out great, and you never have to worry about like, oh, well, let me think about it, or oh, I want to wait for this, or oh, I want to wait for that. But it all depends on like if you position it the right way. For on-market offers, it's a little bit different. Like if I was buying a house for myself, I would make the offer, hey, this is only good for 24 hours. You have to put that scarcity in there and that urgency. I think it's so powerful. For these properties, I'm trying to work with the agents. And make it a good fit for them, a good fit for the seller. But like, if it's tomorrow or even Wednesday, Monica's like, oh yeah, I still haven't gotten in touch with them. Then that's gonna be like, okay, hey, look, I'm not able to have this offer out there forever. Like I look at a lot of properties. I'm gonna need an answer by Friday. And if hey, if we need to call it a no, totally understand. Right? And just so that we can get a definite decision. Right? A yes is great. A no is good too. We hate maybes. We never want to get a maybe or I don't know. So this is the house I looked at in the privy call. I was telling you guys that I did on Friday. Definitely check that out. That conversation's so good, especially for you guys that are looking to implement some of the stuff that I've been doing in this challenge, especially when it comes to talking with agents, making offers. This call was so good. Like, go watch that video. Can't watch the whole thing. I mean, the whole thing's great, but you can at least like just fast forward to where we make the call in this house and talk with the agent. Super, super good. So this house, when I was comping it, I don't think I took a ton of notes when I was chatting with him, unfortunately. Nope, that's a different house. Yep, that's a different house. I'm so bad with staying organized with my notes sometimes. Yeah, I don't think I took notes. So for this house, it I know it needs a roof. We know it needs a roof, and the agent is like super chill with us. It's a little too old, unfortunately. This property, the guy was like, yeah, pretty much. He was like, I think 290 is where it should be at, but the sellers want it to be here. It's been listed for 39 days. I pretty much prepped them to where I was like, yeah, I know 290 is the target, but I'm going to be below that. Now the house it's not in terrible shape either. Like it's not bad. Not bad at all. So, could definitely use some cleaning up, maybe a bit of updating, but it's not like, oh my gosh, this place is a dump. Now, the hard thing is there were some other comps in here to where I think they had pools. Like, I think this one had a pool. I think Redfin had some pictures. Because I remember looking at this one. But I remember ARV when I was looking. Like 350 was, I think, like the max that I was thinking. Now, this property could potentially be a fit for the hedge funds, but I think it's too old. It's 1960. I'm pretty sure 1965. Like most of them, it needs to be newer than that. But we're still trying to find it out. I know we sent one that was like built in 1954. It was out. It was a property that we made an offer on. I think it was the one on like East 2nd Street or something that we made an offer at like 220. And then, so anyways, I sent that property to the hedge fund to see what they had to say. And that was like immediate, like, oh yeah, sorry, man, this one's too old. So I was like, okay. But, hey, send them to them anyways to like really trying to figure out, like, they say, what they say to everybody else is like, oh, we don't buy anything older than 1965. But I mean, is that always the case? Is that just what they want everyone to know? It's kind of like when buyers say, oh, I only buy at 70%. Okay, well, maybe you only want me to bring you 70% deals, but if it's the right house and the right circumstances, would they be willing to buy at a higher price than 70%? A lot of them, yeah. So, oh yeah, so this one looked nice. So this house, yeah, I remember they had some more photos. This sold for $350. Now, what I want to see is, when was this bought? Okay, definitely not like a flip. But oh my goodness, if Redfin wants to work. Felix, hey Nathan, how's the hunt going today? It's going good. It's always going good, my man. Every day hunting is a good day. When we're hunting for properties. Hunting for deals. Good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. All right, so looking at this house, it's nice, right? Not like, it's not a flip. It's and even if we look here, like the kitchen it's not crazy nice, which is good. This is good for us. Now, the one thing is it is a 4.3, and I think it's a bit bigger. And when did this one sell again? Yeah, it sold last summer. So that's going to be a bit tough. Now, what's under contract right now? So ours is a 4.2, 1,600 square feet. It's got a carport, 1960. This one's 1954. It's a 3.2. They listed for 365 and went under contract. So, oh wait, was that a pool in the backyard? Yeah. Okay. So there's a pool in the backyard. Definitely something to keep in mind. Now what I want to see. So, okay, so they originally listed it for 375. Dang. In January. And what did they buy? ARVM. So they bought this for $300. Wow. So, okay, so they changed the price at the beginning of February to 365, and then in less than a week they were under contract. My guess is they're probably, right at or right around their list price. It's not like it was listed for 375 for like 6 months and then it went under contract, because then it's like, okay, it who knows what price this thing's going to close at. If they just had a price drop and then like if somebody lists a property, they list for 300,000 and it goes under contract like that same day or the next day, or within like 2-3 days, chances are it's probably pretty close to list price. And what's the logic behind that is, if it's only been listed for like 2-3 days and it was like a flip property or it's really nice, clean, like it looks like a good listing, chances are it went under contract very soon because it's a hot property. Somebody really wanted it. And typically someone isn't going to take a super low offer right off the bat, right? Because they're going to be like, dude, I just listed this thing 2 days ago. Like, nah, let me see what else I got. So if they went under contract in like 2-3 days, it means it's probably a competitive offer. There's exceptions to every rule, but my guess is this probably is selling right around 365, 360, 365. And the interior wasn't crazy. So that's nice, but ours does not have an in-ground pool. So I'd say like 340, 350 could still be our ARV. What's this one at 315? Now this one, I remember taking a peek at, and like, it wasn't pretty. So that's interesting. This one, yeah, okay. This one too had an in-ground pool and sold for 315. However, let's look at this. Okay, so this is why we look at the notes. Property is lot rate beside the pool that needs to be fixed and minor cosmetic, right? So it's not like, oh, it's got a perfectly good in-ground pool. It's like, no, it's sold for 315 with a pool that needed work, and I mean, it's sold with pictures like this, right? Like, I mean, it ain't pretty, guys, right? So I mean, it's not like a total dump, but I mean, it's it's definitely not crazy. So I think that's good. Let's let's see. Oh no, it won't have it here. We have to wait for it to close to see. So it was bought in 2020 for 240. So they listed it. Yeah, and they sold it pretty much in like a week. Now, for property like this, it could be a lower offer for sure. We don't know. So let's do all. Okay, maybe it did already have all of them. I don't know. There we go. There we go. Let's look at solds. I want to change by dates. Let's see what's selling in March. Okay, I'm not even gonna look at this because it's right on the water. It's right on the water. Look at that view. Definitely not our comp. Grab some water. So let's just bring up a calculator real quick. So if we want to kind of be around 70-ish, so if we thought, we'll say 335. That was ARV. If we were to do times 0.92. Now, if you guys remember, this is the formula I like to use because I think I'm able to get at a more competitive number instead of, because if we do, 335 is ARV, okay, then we do it times 0.70%. Okay, then minus repairs, let's say it's a $30,000 rehab. And then minus a 10K wholesale fee. Okay, I'm at 194.5. That would need to be my offer. They're listed at 310. Gonna be a hard sell. Now, let's do 335 times 0.92, right? We're doing it times 92%, right? Because we're taking out 6% for realtor fees on the back end, and we're taking out 2% for closing costs. That brings us 308. Then we got to take out rehab. So let's say it's a $30,000 rehab. Let's take out what a flipper is going to want to make. I'm going to do at least 10%. So the house on the back end sells for 335. 10% of that would be, like 33,000. So we're just going to do minus 35. Let's do 40. We'll round up. Minus 40,000. Because 10% is typically the minimum. Typically the minimum that they want to make. Minus 40,000. And then hard money costs, that could, we could take out another like 10 grand for that. And then let's take out another 10K for our fee. So 218 versus like, what was it, 195 or whatever, 197, something like that. So it's like a $20,000 difference. It's a big difference in offer price. Big difference, guys. And again, these are still like rough numbers, right? Like, to where you start honing it in even more is when you really start to understand rehab. So that's when you can really start to pinpoint where you're like, no, this rehab, it's not like a price per square foot. It's not like a 40K rehab. It's like, no, this is a $27,000 to $29,000 rehab. I don't have that skill down yet. I like to do just rough numbers. All right. Hey man, what terms do you typically include when sending out offers to agents? John Wick. Ho. John Wick, what's up, my man? So the terms, it depends. It depends on the seller and what they want. I don't have, hey, this is what I put in every offer. Not every offer I make is a cash offer. Not every offer I make is a 30-day close. Not every offer. Honestly, for on market, I almost never say that I'm paying for closing costs. I don't know if you guys have noticed that or not. I haven't yet. So, it ideally when making an offer, you want your offer to be catered to exactly what the person wants. If a 30-day close is important, if a cash offer is important, if um if not doing any walkthroughs is important, if paying for them to like just leave everything and I clean up the house, if that's important, if if there's so many different things that we can put into our offer that a lot of people don't think about. If a non-refundable deposit is important to them, all those things I take into consideration. So ideally, it's every offer is different. The process and what I try to do is the same, right? It's I have a conversation with the agent or the seller, and I'm trying to extract as much information as possible. I'm trying to figure out what's really important to this person. Now this conversation again, this one's to listen to. It was on the privy call I did on Friday. This house, another thing he said to me is they were behind and going to be foreclosed on at one point. So like they have a hard timeline that they're working with. He more or less kind of told me. They also have a minimum number that they need to get. I don't know what that is yet, but that can be a discussion I can have with the agent, right? So it's all catered to what that seller wants, and that's really what, when we're making offers like in real estate as a wholesaler or as a real estate agent, that's what you're doing, is you're looking to set an appointment to have a conversation, and so that you can then create the perfect offer for that person, right? It's not just the like, here's our offer and it's just like we send it out to everybody. That is a huge like game changer when you really start to understand that and you start approaching every conversation that way. That like, so for example, the person we called Monica this morning, her offer, where is my text message with her? In that offer, my offer has 0 days due diligence. My offer has a $5,000 non-refundable earnest money deposit. My offer has a close within 30 days. My offer is buying as is, not doing any repairs. Now, you might say, Nate, how can you wholesale that? 0 days due diligence with a non-refundable deposit? Like, why am I even offering that? Well, one, because our conversation with that agent, this guy's had a bunch of people look at this property, and every time they would go into a contract, but then when the person walked the property, they were like, no way, man, I can't, it's too much. I'm not doing this. And it kept falling out. And he's this old dude, and he's just sick and tired of this property. Like, he had tenants there that like forever, and then COVID happened and they like kind of screwed him over. And he's just done with this property. And like for him, he just wants, the most important thing is he wants certainty of like, this deal's going to close and it's just going to be done. That's why our offer is so low, because the other things are so valuable to him. And it's like, well, Dane, how on earth are you going to make that offer work? Because what I told the agent is like, hey, look, here's the offer I can do. If he's interested in this offer, I will have someone go and walk it before we sign and go under contract, right? So I would send out one of my buyers. They would go walk the property, and I would tell my buyer like, hey, if you can do this, like, it's going to be a $5K non-refundable deposit. And that's the money that I'm going to use for the agent. So the buyer's going to tell me yes or no if he can do it before we sign and have an agreement. Now, it's like, well, Nate, should you be like blasting out properties that you don't have under contract? No, you typically should not be doing that. But if you have relationships with really good buyers, right? And this isn't something that's getting blasted out to a bunch of people. You're calling or shooting a text, to like one or two of your guys that you have a good relationship with, and you're saying, hey, I've got this really good property. I think I can get it at a really good price for you. Here's the deal. If we were to do it, we'd have to go non-refundable, deposit, whatnot. But I think I can get it at a really good price for you. Do you want to walk it and let me know? He's like, yeah, 100%. So that's kind of how we work that one, if he's interested. Other offers, there's the other property to where I was like, hey, it's going to be a 7-day inspection. I told them I was going to renegotiate it, and I said I wanted EMD to be deposited after my 7-day inspection. Now that was with the agent that was difficult, right? And it didn't really go so well because there was like another agent in between. It was kind of confusing, but that was all negotiable. So that was a different offer. So everything's different. And then for the other woman, Diana, that we called this morning, her offer is, hey, let me know what price you can do. And then I'll see if I can do it with a cash offer. But if not, I was like, we could explore options for if we were to take over your hard money loan, or if she were to like partner with somebody to finish the rehab for her. So like those are just right there. Those are 3 different offers. Oh, and then the fourth one, the one it got denied, but when we made the offer for like 210, 220, so we actually made 2 offers, one at 210 and one at 220. And you're like, Nate, how does that work? Well, because I told him, I was like, 210, I feel confident that we can move forward and do an offer at that. I knew that was a really low offer. I said we could maybe come up to 220, like if when I walk the property, if the house turns out to be something that we could do a higher end rehab on. If that's the case, if it is able to be a good fit for that higher end rehab, we could get a higher price for the house in the back end. And in turn, we might be able to come all the way up to 220. But that would really depend on the walkthrough. Right. And then with that offer, I was like, hey, their thing is there was multiple family members involved. So for them, it wasn't a 30-day close. There was somebody living in the house that needed like time to figure out where they were going to go. The other family members are like, dude, we want this thing closed by June 1st, no matter what. Like, that's a hard deadline. But a 30-day close would not have been a 30-day close would have been a hard no. If I didn't know the situation, I just put in, oh, here's my cash offer and a 30-day close. Even if they wanted to take it, it would have been a no because they couldn't, because the person living at the property needed at least like they had till May 1st. And that person probably definitely is not going to be out any sooner. Right. So for that offer, it's because I didn't offer a 30-day close that was actually more attractive. I said, hey, I can close. I mean, I'd love to close the sooner the better, but ideally I can close whenever they're ready, whenever's best for them. And that was a piece that was attractive in their offer. Right. But it all comes from having the conversation and finding out what is it they really want? What is it they need and why? Okay. I hope John, I was able to help answer that for you. Yeah. Felix, what does that all checkbox do? I've been confused about that for a while when comping. So when we go to comps, here, let's try to unselect it. So when you go to comps, this is whatever like the standard qualifications that Privy uses for like, hey, here's the comps. That's like, here's the comps that Privy is saying are our comps for our house. When we go to settings and select all, it pretty much widens that. Like, so Privy, like it's a certain amount of square feet, a certain amount of beds and baths, a certain amount of whatever. When I hit all, the timeline's still the same. It's not going to show me properties that sold like 20 years ago. It'll still be within like 12 months, I think it is. So the timeline, I believe, is the same, but it'll show me everything that's sold in this neighborhood. So things that have a lot more square footage, things that have a lot less square footage, things that have 5, 6, 7 bedrooms, things that might only have 1 or 2 bedrooms. It'll show me everything in this neighborhood. And why is that important to me? Because it allows me to get a better understanding. It allows me to see, I want to see all of it. personally. Oh, so we were looking at sold, and then yeah, we want to sort it by date. Yes, there's this one for 450. Oh, it's only a 2-1 also. Interesting. So this is a 4-2, 1958. Okay. Okay. I'm liking this as a comp. Has an in-ground pool. Dude, that's going to be killer for our property. All these houses at like, what is, okay, up to 15,000. So they really sold this for like 310. Yeah, I remember looking at this one. So I honestly, I feel I don't really like 340 as an ARV. Where's this house? What's this one? We looked at this one. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath. Looked at this. What's this? 295. Sold in February. So this is a 3-2, 1,300 square feet. So it's a bit smaller. It's got a smaller carport, but so this was bought in January. Oh dang. Was this a double close? VM Prompto. Huh. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened here. Interesting. So let's see. Multiple offers received. Highest. It's got a bonus room. So this could be a 4-2. Let's look at some pictures. Okay. And what did this sell? Sell for $295. Dude, this doesn't really help. So we're pretty much gonna have to call this guy and be like, dude, we're like, he wanted to be at 290. This is what 290 is buying people in February. Right? So literally just 30 days ago, pretty much. Now his thing is to be like, oh, but like this one's bigger. It's like, yeah, okay, maybe, but it's not that nice. So these people, it might need to be like a subject to offer, because my gut tells me a cash offer just is not going to be able to be high enough to be a good fit for them. Now, my justification with the sold for 300. Where's this one located? Right here. Did we look at this one already? Now, my justification is like, so when I call the agent and be like, dude, look, like these are the properties I'm looking at. And this is nice. It's clean. I'm not really crazy about this, but it's kind of a weird combination there. But it's I mean, this is nicer than our house, and ours needs a roof. Oh yeah, this dude's a gamer. You can tell by like the mechanical keyboard. He's got the Batman mask. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I mean, I like that this doesn't have a pool. Now, the one upside is like this property literally has no backyard. So like that was definitely like a big negative for this house. Like if you look at like this is the backyard. They got a front and side yard, but they have no backyard. So maybe ours could get a little bit more, but like if it was rehabbed. So this guy we're gonna call and kind of be like, hey man, you know, take a look at it. Dude, like I would need to be like low, like between like 2 and 230, like maybe 250. Um, I mean 250 just wouldn't really work. Let's call him up and let's find out some more information. Mm-mm-mm. Robert. Um, where is? Oh, he sent me a video walkthrough also. Um, hold on, let me see if I can. Okay, so you guys could watch also. History. Awesome. All right. I don't know if you guys are able to hear the audio or not. If not, that's okay. We're not we're not gonna try to figure that out right now. It's just music playing. So I'm gonna speed this up a little bit. So the outside definitely exactly like pictures. Okay. 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 Not bad. Actually, it looks like if you look past the stuff, it doesn't. It's not in like bad shape at all. You know, just like a little bit of clutter. Yeah, and a missing ceiling, but that's not a big deal. Hmm. So okay. I think for the right price, this could be a great wholesale, but like he was talking 290. 290 is not going to cut it. This could be a great wholesale at maybe like two, all right, let's call him up. Um, okay, this wasn't a rehab, and this one sold in January. So over the two that we were looking at, this one sold for 300. This one sold for 295. Now the agent, when I spoke to him on Friday, he also did not have like a positive outlook on the property. Like his energy, like his outlook on the property was really just like he's like, yeah, man. He's like, dude, this thing ain't gonna sell like for 310. You know what's listed at. He's like, and like other agents, he's like, they just don't understand. Like, you know, trying to explain to them, oh, your person's gonna need like a renovation loan and blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, that like that's just not gonna work. So he kind of has like a low confidence in the property, which is good for us. And he's like definitely very open to working with an investor. All right, let's call Robert.
You reached Robert Cristiano, Call Banker, Winter Park. I'm not available at the moment. Please leave your name, number, a brief message, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. For a quick response, please text me.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Robert, it's Nathan. We had spoke on Friday about the house on Irish Street. Give me a call when you get a chance. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye. And I'll just shoot him a text. Hey, Robert. Is there time today we could chat about the property on Irish Street? All right, cool. Do you work every property that gets you preliminary screening, even if your max is way off list price? How do you decide when to move on to a different property? So, great question. Really good question. I feel like this is a question that is like a killer for a lot of people, especially newer investors. So even this, like if I'm not talking and like, kind of streaming with you guys, I would have been able to kind of go through this way quicker. Like I can do this in like 5 minutes typically. Now, if you notice my initial call to the agent, so I called this guy on Friday. I spoke to him about the house. I knew at a quick glance, I would never be anything close to this. But I did see like it's been listed for like over 30 days. And like, just from the outside pics, like it looks like it could use work, right? It's not like a perfect, a perfect house that needs absolutely nothing. So like if we think of the qualifications, okay, so for me, it meets the condition qualification. Like this is something that I can bring value to. 2, the price definitely doesn't meet our price, right? But that's the one I care the least about. And then motivation and timeline. Well, it's been listed for 40 days. It was listed for over 30 days. So what are the chances they have some motivation? Maybe. And then timeline. Well, one, we already know they're listed. So they're ready to sell now. Timeline's kind of taken out when we're calling listed properties because it's like, it's listed. They're ready to sell now. However, some people are like, yeah, bro, I don't care if it sits 6 months, 12 months. I can sell this thing whenever. That's when timeline matters. Versus these kind of people, when we spoke with the agent, he's like, nah, timeline's important for sure. So I barely look at it. For me to make the initial call to the agent. I base a lot on just because, you guys have seen it so many times. We have one phone call and then the list price and what they'd actually be willing to do are 2 very different stories, right? Price can drastically change. And the reason why everyone's like, oh, there's no good deals on the MLS, or like, oh man, it's so hard to find a deal. It's because everyone goes on. I'm using generalizations. I shouldn't. I feel a lot of people, it feels like they go on the MLS thinking that like, oh, this person should have it listed for 200,000, right? And that's how I get the deal. Like I go on, I take my time, sip some coffee, I look through them, whenever I'm able to get to it, and I should be able to find properties that I like this house, and that just have a $200,000 price tag right here. And then I can call, make an offer at like 150 and get the deal. Doesn't work like that, right? So if there's one thing I hope you guys realize is like these are leads, and then we have to call and work the leads, just like you do with direct to seller, right? It's just a little bit different, right? Direct to seller, dude, we're calling people just based off of a little bit of criteria. If you're pulling a list, it's like, dude, I'm calling this person just because they're an absentee owner, right? And they maybe meet a few other qualifications, right? Or I'm calling this person just because they met my driving for dollars. So this is the same thing, except this is actually a higher form of qualification, right? Because let's take driving for dollars. Driving for dollars, you're adding properties to a list just based on how they look, right? The condition. If they need work, you add it to your list. And you're like, I'm going to call this person and see if they're interested in selling. Here, kind of similar. We're taking a look, see, okay, is this a house that needs work? And we're like, yes. Okay, cool. Well, we know that they're interested in selling. Like, we know that because it's listed for sale. So it's like, awesome. So it like, this is equivalent of somebody that has a house that you added to your driving for dollars list, and they said, yes, I'm interested in an offer. So I'm pretty lax on, like, if they meet those two things, right? If it's a listed property that needs work, the only thing is if it's a property I have zero interest in, right? Like sometimes they're just trash properties to where you're like, dude, like, yeah, this would be a really hard house to sell. I tend to pass up on those. But for the most part, like just make a phone call. Because usually in like, you know, a quick, same thing with the seller, like in 3 to 5 minutes, you can find out, hey, is there actually a chance of us doing a deal or not at all? Right. And so that's what happened on Friday is like the conversation with them is, it was like, okay, this is something worth having another conversation or taking a closer look. Like they have motivation 100%. The agent wants to work with someone like us, right? A cash buyer. Now we just have to work on price. Same thing with sellers. When you talk with sellers and they say, you know, okay, the conditions there, they say, yes, I'm interested in an offer. But what do? We ask them, well, okay, well, do you know what price you wanted for the property? It's always a super high price, right? Typically, like 99% of the time, it's going to be a high price. But that doesn't stop us, right? We know that's part of the game. Where we make our money is putting in that work to get this at a price that makes sense. I hope that kind of helps. Frederick, what's up, my man? Buy price close to 200K. They're not ready for that low price yet. Probably not, but that's what we want to call the agent and just see, right? And so that's why I don't even need to know exactly what my offer price is, because I'm going to call that agent and have another conversation and basically be like, yo, hey man, I know when we talked last week, like, you know, the target was 290, you know, based off of this, and this, I would probably need to be a lot closer to here. My guess is there's no way your sellers would be able to accept that. Right. And then that's what we want to do. And then we want him to tell us where is it they need to be. And then from there, we can decide, okay, does it make sense to make an actual offer or no? Because if he's like, oh, no, he's like, they owe 270 on it. And he's like, I'm taking a break on the commission. He's like, you know, they at least need an offer at you know, 275, 280 for them to just pay off the stuff. Now we could transition to be like, hey, are they open to like, you know, a subject to offer? But that's another story. All right, he just texted me back. Hey, Nathan, in a meeting, we'll call you once I'm done. Man, I hope so. It's a second agent that told me that today. All right. So that's where we're at with this one. Let's look at what goodies Privy sent me over this weekend. They sent me a receipt. Dude, best $97 spent. All right. Oh, we got so many. Love it. Let's get rid of this. Oh, this is yeah, she must have made a change to it. Oh. All right. You guys see what happened? So this showed up in my privy email. And so I went to the records to check because, yeah, first I was like, oh, it's active. Okay. We could have canceled. But when we go to public records, so it was active, right? This is when we called her. March 2nd, right? 4 days ago, she changed the status to under contract. Now, yeah, so my guess is she got an offer, and it could have been with the people that she wanted to do an offer with. Because if you also notice, she had mentioned something along the lines of, she's like, yeah, typically they're like, whenever they make their first offer, they're usually like pretty, like really close to that after they do the walkthrough. Maybe they weren't on this one. So this is good for us to know, because I'm going to ask her about this. I'm like, oh, hey, I think I saw like the status was changed to under contract. Like, is it still available, or were you able to find someone out? Because I want her to tell me, yeah, like we went under contract for this, and then they walked it, and they actually thought it was like a $70K rehab. So we weren't able to do it. I want to know that information. So we're going to try and pull that out when she calls. But we've already got this property added, so on to the next one. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's look at more deals. All right. Nice and ground pool. No pictures on the interior. Okay, professional photos coming soon. This probably is not going to be our house. Well, one, it's high price point, right? It's listed at 400. We typically want to be like below 300, ideally. I'm just taking a quick look. I mean, yeah, there's some stuff selling for let's do by date. So ours is a 4.2, 1,900 square feet, 2-car garage, built in 1968. The thing is even if you have comps, it's really hard to find guys that want to buy and do a flip at that price point. They're really nervous at those higher price points right now. Let's see. So this one sold for 480. Now it could also be priced low because they're looking to do a bidding war, right? They threw it out there. It's right at the start of, pretty much spring season. Sounds like it's going to be a really nice house. I mean, look at this, right? I'm just going to go ahead and fail this one. So when I take a quick look, it's like ARVs either got to be like mid to high fives, right? Or in the fives, and then I get it way under. But I think this property is going to sell quick. I think they're honestly pricing it low to try to get a bidding war. That's my guess. All right, next one. 329. What's going on with that pool, man? All right, let's see. What are some price points? So listed for 329. It's a 3.2, 1,500 square feet, 1958. What's this stuff? Let's look at solds. Let's go by date. Yeah, I don't think this house is going to be a good fit either. It's been listed for 4 days. Well, I mean, it needs work. Oh my gosh. Who put in this bathroom? I'm just, look, I get everyone's got their own taste, but sometimes there's stuff where I'm like, what am I looking at? Yeah, it looks like the pool's gonna need work. Okay. Huh. This one, you know what? Let's call him because it meets the condition. The thing I don't like is it's only been listed for 4 days. But I think it's worth a call because like it's not like this is not a pretty house, but it's got all the right pieces, right? It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. It's got the 2-car garage. It's got the in-ground swimming pool, right? So it's got the whole framework for really nice flip. Now we just got to see if it's vacant, right? So who knows what the deal is on this? But let's add it, and we're gonna call it. Orlando, Florida. Monica. Yo, there's no way that's the same Monica, right? Where's the other Monica? Okay, no, that's Monica Martinez. This is Monica Dudas. Invest Right Realty. So I wonder if this is like a wholesale deal. I wonder if this is like a an investment company that like also has like a realty branch, and they're just listing this one. While it approved displays mortgage data, I looked at the one on Irish Sheet, plugged the data in my spreadsheet. Estimated current loan balance is 109. Oh, cool, dude. Well, that is helpful. Let's see what comes up. What on earth did I click on? Come on, Monica. All right, here's a phone number. Is this the same number that's on Privy? Let's see. Nope, they're different. Okay, cool. Let's add this one. Oh, if I can. All right, let's try calling her. Monica 813-418-0207.
Hi, this is Monica.
Hey, Monica, this is Nathan. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks. I was calling because I was just looking at here of a listing you have on Tradewinds Trail.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was just calling to see if you had a minute to chat about it, but it seems like I might have caught you in the middle of something.
No, you're good. You didn't really. Are you an agent? Or are you a buyer? What would you like to?
Yeah, so I'm actually calling as a buyer. I'm unrepresented at this time. Perfectly happy, you know, if this was something that was able to work out. Would love to have you represent me. I know for this house, I was calling, I was looking at it as a potential investment opportunity. I was wondering if you could, yeah, maybe tell me just a little bit about the house, and I guess anything that you think might be important for someone like me to know.
Right. Well, I will say this is a cash only purchase.
Uh-huh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay. So this one, I think really, truly, you would want to have an inspection done to see, you know, what you're in for, because the buyer, I'm sorry, my seller, when they purchased this property, they did purchase it from an auction. And so I do a couple of things with this particular seller, and they usually will go in and flip the property themselves. You know, they buy really good real estate, but they other projects that, you know, just fun things have happened. So we are, I had to just put this one on the market as is. And so I don't really, I mean, cosmetically, it needs a bit of cosmetics, but it's not, you know, depending on your take and your taste on things, it's not a very large home. So, you know, the floors, I think you can keep the main floors. There's some I want to say there's carpet in the bedrooms. No, actually, no, there's no carpet in the bedrooms. I think there's like a laminate tiling, maybe in the wet areas. So that would be the only thing I would really foresee having to pick up for the floors. I think the cabinets are solid. The actual structure of the house is, you know, it's brick, and it's actually really nice. So I think for the most part, you're looking at probably having to pour in some cosmetics, and, you know, depending on, I have to have the AC looked at. Somebody did just tour the property and give me some feedback that it looks like the condensation is building up. So I'll have that looked at. But, you know, you're welcome to, if you want to take a look at it, you want to get over there today. But I can see if somebody else is showing to get you inside.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So this property, so the original buyer, so they're fix and flippers themselves. And I'm sorry, I might have missed it. What kind of turned them away from, I guess doing this property?
Because they have too many they're taking on. So I got 4 from them last week. So they just they bought quite a bit. But so, you know, sometimes some of these projects you get into it and various things happen and, you know, become, now that you've already opened walls or, you know, done other things, some things are, you know, and I just think with our current market, labor and, you know, just having stuff done has become a bit more challenging. So, you know, trying to break into something new when they have a couple projects that they're kind of tied up with, just, you know, and they don't keep things on their books. And so this one, I mean, you can look to see properties in here are selling for a lot more, you know, somewhere in the mid 4s. And that's without, this one has a pool. You've got all of the RV storage and you know, extra, the carports and stuff. So it does have a bigger, you know, there's more that it's offering, in my opinion, and just looking at comps and everything. So I will say though too, I didn't want to, like, it's not the sweetest offer, but I do have an offer on this property. So it's not terrible. I'm certainly assuming my seller is going to counter. So you know, I just want to be transparent with all of that. But this is not something that, you know, the investors would gladly take on if they just had the ability to do it. I think they just bought too much at one time. So
it sounds like that the investors are someone that you know pretty closely.
I do know them very well. Yes, I love them. There's nothing, like, I have nothing bad to say about them. In fact, I agree that this one is, you know, it's a solid property to go as is. You know, and I totally understand that, you know, because they go in, and when I say they go in, they do an amazing job with their rehab. So everything is fully gutted and redone. So that's just kind of, in this case, this is one that they'll have to put in a ton of work. And if they're tied up realistically, I think they're just making a business move that is,
sure. I totally understand.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure you could probably see they probably are breaking even on this one. I don't even know for sure, but
what do you think what do you or they think that the total rehab cost would be to do this project?
So, and I mean, that really depends because, are you looking at tier 1 or tier 4, right? And so for them, they would be coming in. I mean, I could show you one of their other properties, but they do come in and redo the cabinets. Everything is the white and black, and like they have an interior designer that specifically pairs all of their choices. So it would really depend. Somebody could go in and put lipstick on this one, really, like, you can keep the cabinets, you can go in, put some fresh paint, baseboards are needed, and redo the bathrooms. The kitchen, the island needs some updating, but it looks like there's just tile. You can take that off and redo that, resurface that yourself. So it really would depend on you. Like, I would paint the exterior probably white, and maybe I like the white and the green look. That's kind of become more of a popular look right now. And that would really just depend on you. If you are doing this yourself, you're saving some money. I have some investors that go in, live in the property, fix it while they're there, take about 6 to 9 months, and then either they'll keep it and rent it out, or I have some that have, then you do want to hold on to it for, I think, 2 years before you get hit with capital gains taxes. But, that's really, I have somebody go to Home Depot, strap the door to his Jeep and head back home and do what he needs to do. So that's really just kind of.
So I would be probably using, I'd be using Cruise. So I guess kind of ballpark, what do you think roughly, what do you think the rehab would need to be at, ballpark? And I guess, what do you think it could sell for with that type of rehab? What do you think it could sell for on the back end?
If this were me and this was my property, I would do it up to maximize return, because I believe it or not, I have 2 that are also like fully renovated. Look, they are amazing. And over the weekend, I've gotten more on this property than I've seen on a property in a really long time. Here, I'll take a peek and see what that looked like. And so I think people are not only looking in this area. Right before you just got off the phone with somebody else looking and trying to find a property here on the canal and asking me about it as well. But they wanted to try to get financing for it, but you can't. So I just suggested a loan, just because that's either they can do a hard money loan, make sure it's up to like at least passing a 4-point for insurance purposes, and then switch out 90 days later. They can do FHA or whatever they want. I put this up on Friday evening, I think Friday night, and I've had over 20 showings. So that's pretty big. Right now people are only seeing properties that buyers are being more selective of what they're looking at. So it's definitely something worth checking out. But I would say, as far as cosmetics and stuff, you did ask. For this one, let me look at the photos again. So this one, I mean, I would want to know the age of the roof, because if you're, selling and you want to sell it conventional, you got to make sure that has, no more than like 12 years of life on this one. The gutters, I'm sorry, there's no gutters on this one. The exterior, I would paint entirely. So you're probably, my guess on that would be like 7,000. It's not very big. I would clean up the back. Depending on the pool, I would say I can't really tell the water in there, but I think it looks like it needs to be shocked and cleaned. So and there's like some funky, whatever those rocked things are, I would probably try to have those removed personally,
Mm-hmm.
and then just have cleaned up. Inside, I think I would at least reface the cabinets. And potentially open up and do an island, unless that's the very wall. If you need that, then I would leave it. But it's still open. The kitchen itself is open, but I would remove, depending on the inside of the cabinets. I can't tell I don't know what they look like inside, but I would try to save the inside and do this. So I'm thinking, you're probably in it for, if you did the kitchen, it's not very big, so you're probably like a 5 to 7, maybe 8 at most on that. Your flooring, if you would keep the terrazzo flooring, is all throughout, minus the this area here. But I mean, you can easily transition some laminate there, or vinyl if you wanted. A lot of people are doing that vinyl. It's been, it's really nice. I would do all new lighting fixtures. It looks, like I would do the covers. I don't know if you would I would do the baseboards personally.
Mm-hmm.
Make them upgraded. Probably finish that cement piece there. So, I mean, I'm thinking you're probably looking at minimum 30,000-40,000 for the renovation if you did the bathrooms as well.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on your touch and your taste, I would retile. I'll just open up that bathroom and just retile it. Put a glass shower wall there, and then I would switch, put the toilet next to the sink, but do a smaller vanity. This would be one of the shower rooms. But ARV wise, there's certainly, I mean, they're probably selling for 500,000 over here.
So you think that this property, if it had that 30 to 40K rehab, could sell for 500 on the back end?
I don't know that it would sell for 500. I'd have to look to see what was selling at 500, to be honest. But I think that, when I was looking, I looked at comps because, you have a pool. Not all of them have a pool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking you're somewhere between the high 4s to 5.
Okay, so you're thinking it could go for like 480 to 500, give or take. Does that sound about right?
I mean, I can pull comps and send them your way if you want. I'm happy to do that.
That's okay. Well, I can take kind of a closer look on my end and see. Got it. So you're thinking 440 to 500 on the back end. You're thinking a 30 to 40K rehab. I'll be out 30 to 40K seems a little light if we were to do it well to get that 480 to 500. Especially if we're gonna have to put on like a new roof and stuff like that. I know you said you got an offer on the table that isn't amazing. I don't know exactly where I go because I'll look closer at kind of comps, and I'll check the rehab and stuff on my own end. My number one goal is I really I don't like making an offer that would insult anyone. I don't want to waste your time, of course. I know you guys do have an offer on the table. I don't know exactly where I would need to be at as far as offer price. I know I wouldn't be able to come up to 330. I guess, do you have an idea, or do you know kind of where the sellers would really need to be at in order for this to be a good fit for them?
And I'm saying this too, like I did not consider a roof or any kind of the major components. When I give you 30, 40, that was strictly walking through looking at
okay, got it.
So yeah, because I don't know what all I don't
Sure.
actually know the age of the roof, and I believed I need to see if I looked at permits for this one, but that is something I would, yes, I'm going to factor that in. So as far as room, I mean, this just went live, and I do have a lot of interest, so I wouldn't advise my sellers to make any kind of decision that's going to be super low. So, I mean, I understand that you are, looking to make money as well. And I work several markets over here in Florida, and I mean, if you find good real estate and you know that there's going to be a return, and you want to jump on it, then yeah, you kind of have to come in a little stronger when it's just listed. But if you're patient and you're just, you're going to jump in at some point. I mean, I would give it a week or two and see if it's still available. And if it is, then, you know, maybe if you're going to come in really low, I know that nobody wants to insult either, right? But if it's an offer to entertain, hey, let's entertain it. I mean, my sellers can always counter.
When you say really low, are you thinking like I know everyone kind of has relative terms, but like when you say really low, you mean like 250?
I mean, I guess, what was your name? I'm sorry.
Nathan.
Nathan. I get so many offers that are, you know, people will do that. They'll send you an offer for 100,000 off, and you're like, and then they'll ask for a counter, or did I talk to the seller? And I mean, if you're listing your property and it's been on the market for what, like, try to put yourself in the seller's shoes.
Right.
I bet you would be like, maybe not insulted, but like, you don't really want to buy the property. So why?
Well, that's
what do you do?
Yeah, and that's why, like, and yeah, because I'm not a fan of that either. That's, you know, well, hence I hope you can tell by our conversation. Yeah, if I make an offer, you know, it's actually something I kind of put thought and time into, and that's why I know, like, if it's listed for 329 and it's like, oh, they won't take anything less than, like, you know, asking, or like within 5,000 of asking, then it's, you know, I totally get it, you know, no harm, no foul, you know, it's something, you know, hey, maybe I'll just check in like a week or two, and maybe that would make more sense. If I have an idea of where I would need to be at. So yeah, sometimes I like to ask just to kind of get an idea, because yeah, I get where they're coming from, and but I'm also, I'm not on the other end to where I'm just, I just throw out just a random ridiculously low number just because. No, I actually kind of put, you know, some thought and effort into it. My goal really always is to give you the best offer possible. But in order for me to do that, you know, it does take up some of my time, and of course, I don't want to waste that if you know, it just wouldn't be appropriate at this time. So I guess, I know you said you have an offer on the table. I mean, I guess, do you feel like there's a strong chance that they'll end up, you know, being able to work something out and move forward with that? And yeah, I guess, should I bother kind of spending the time to make an offer, or?
Well, I'm always going to encourage another offer. Because I will say this one is not, it's not terrible. I could see them at least countering, but again, like, I don't think that they're going to accept anything under list right now, considering, you know, and if I'm selling you this property and you fix and flip it and we go to sell it, and I'm selling this for you, I'm never going to tell you, hey, you know, it's worth waiting a little bit, because I'm going to follow up with all of the agents that toured the property. I'm going to get feedback for you. I'm going to see, you know, what's going on. What are people are looking for this property, right? So, you know, I always want to help you make the most informed decision possible. So I would never even tell you, hey, let's go ahead and accept, you know, something lower. And that's just being realistic. So if you are, you know, you're looking at it, do you want to see it? If you want to have interest in, and maybe it's something you want to, like, just run your rehab numbers on it, you can do that. I think, you know, don't give it more than 20 minutes of your time.
Right.
You know, but hey, you have interest, and if it's something you are interested in, if my sellers don't even wish to counter the offer that they have right now, I'm happy to tell you, hey, if you want to go take a look at this, go do that. But you know, I also, whenever I present something to any of my sellers, I like to tell them, hey, somebody is still interested, so, you know, we're not making a hasty decision either.
Got it. Okay. Well, I will tell you what. Let me look at things on my end. I think I'll probably end up deciding just to kind of put it on hold for right now. Yeah, it sounds like maybe right now I wouldn't be the best buyer for you guys, but which is okay. You know, no harm, no foul. Maybe there's some that can you know, be more competitive than me. And I'll tell you what. Yeah, maybe I'll just touch base in like a week or two, and you know, potentially we could revisit the conversation then.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, if you have any questions in the meantime, don't hesitate. And, you know, if you don't see it pending within a few days, then we probably did not accept that offer. So, you know, happy to get you inside to see it. You know, if that's something you want to do.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep that in mind.
All right. Well, sounds good. Well, thank you. If, anything changes, just let me know.
All right. Thanks so much, Monica. I'll be in touch.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. So, couple things. I was kind of like ready to get off the phone. When I asked for like the rehab and ARV, what she was thinking, oh man, I was like, I don't want to go there. She's like, wow, the flooring, the cabinets, we could do this, we could do that. I'm like, just give me your ballpark number. Now the one thing though is kudos to her. She's very knowledgeable with the rehab, right? And when I asked earlier in the conversation, I was like, oh, it sounds like you have a close relationship with the sellers. I was trying to like pull out a little bit more because in the beginning, the way she was talking, it almost sounded like I was trying to figure out. I was like, are you the flipper? Like, is this your deal? Like this your company, right? Or like, do you work? Is it like this is the company that you work for or whatever? I was trying to figure that out. And then kind of her answer, I was like, okay, no, like it's not her personally that owns this property, but she does work very close with the sellers. This house, so once she's got another offer on the table, they're going to be countering, but she didn't sound too confident that they'd be able to do something. It's going to be a good size rehab. Right now, also nice her when she kind of reiterated, she's like, hey, when I said 30 to 40K, she's like, that was just on the stuff that we talked about, right? And she talked about exterior paint, cabinets, flooring, and like bathrooms. That's actually really good, right? That's not including a roof. That's not including like the whole house. Like that would just those few things that she mentioned. She's like, yeah, 30, 40K on that. She's really good at knowing her numbers, right? She's not unrealistic on the rehab. Now the ARV, that's potentially another story. When we take a real quick look here, so she wasn't saying. Now she was like, well, when I was asking about ARV, she's like, and agents will do this a lot. Sellers will do this too. And this is a really good tactic that I want you guys to use when they bring it up, right? Because they're trying to anchor high, and we want to be clear. Right? She's like, well, there is properties. Like, she's like, oh, well, I know there's one that sold for 520. I think, and which was that rehab that we're looking at. She was like, oh, there was one that sold for 425 or 525, right? Or over 500. I'm like, okay, so it sounds like you're saying the ARV is like that's what the ARV would be. Okay, so it sounds so you're saying that this could sell for over 500. And every time I did that, and I did that for the rehab, and I did that for the ARV, and each time she's like, well, I'm not saying that, right? Because what we want is we want to be clear and just be like, well, you're saying this number, and you're trying to get me to think up here for ARV. Like, and I just want to make sure if that's what you're saying, then commit to it, right? And then we can look at the numbers, and that's something that we could have a discussion about. But if not, like, no, let's have a real conversation. Where is it really at? And sellers will do, well, I saw a house, sell for like $1 million around the corner from me. It's like, okay, so you're saying your house would sell for $1 million. Well, I mean, not quite. I think theirs was a little bit bigger, right? So one thing, okay, a few things why I'm like, okay, let me get off the phone. I don't want to waste any more time because I'm just trying to figure out, like, she said they have a low offer. Now, did you also notice when I said, hey, what's a low offer mean to you? I threw out a super low number. I'm like, when you say low offer, you mean like 250, right? Because I want to clarify, is a low offer like 100 grand less, 80 grand less, or is a low offer to you like 20,000 less? Because if she's like, oh, don't come in with a low offer of like 300 to 310, and it's like, okay, like we can get off the phone right now. I'm also trying to feel for what are the acceptable ranges that the seller's thinking, right? Because if I'm like, I said 250, and she's like, yeah, some people are coming in with low offers at like 100K less. I'm like, okay, well, that's good. I like to hear that other people are doing that. Because what that does, that tease me and that's the thing, guys, all these people that just send blind offers ridiculously low, all you're doing is just prepping them and teeing them up for me, who's going to come in, have a real conversation with them, and try to make, the best offer that I can. Still might be crazy low, right? But, and do you notice she also talked about that too? And we just talked about this. It was either like Friday or Thursday, something like that last week. We had just talked about why we don't just send out deals because of how they feel when it's like, dude, you just texted me an offer or emailed me something like 100K less or half price. Like, dude, you didn't even put any thought into this. Maybe they did, but that's how it feels. It feels like they didn't put any effort in them, and they don't like that feeling, right? So that's why we call and we do the things that we do. Another thing with this property is, so when we look at so the big things for me. One, this is, now she had said it in the beginning. I didn't really look at all yet, but she was like, oh, it is a little bit smaller. This is 1,500 square feet. When we look at all these other properties, dude, they're like, the small end is like 1,800 square feet. And then they're all above like 2,000 square feet. Like, let's sort by square footage. Right, obviously not including these low ones. Now, who knows where these ones are, right? But so this sold for 220, so lower square feet. This sold for 299, right? Now, different neighborhood. Like, I don't count these as comps, but like, that's like when we go up from there. Like, this is small, 1,670 square feet, right? And it sold for 475. And it's a 2-2. Where's this one located? Oh, this one's right here. Oh, okay, so this one's like right on the water, and it's at the end of a cul-de-sac. So that's probably pretty nice. So that's like super nice location. Now, location is a big one for us, right? It's right on like the, and this is where we talk about, oh, well, you can't just look at a half mile. For this house, like being on these canals is a huge difference in value from something that's even just right here, right? Or right here. Really close distance wise, but these are two worlds apart, right? Two very different, neighborhoods. But let's go back and look at the square footage again. I mean, like, this is what we're looking at, like 2,300 square feet, 2,000, just under 2,000, just under 2,000. And then 1,800, and 1,800 square feet sold for 400K. That doesn't help us. 1,800 square feet sold for 420. 1,700 square feet sold for 460. Now I do want to look at that one. So they bought this for 381. Let's see if this was an actual flip. It's gone in ground pool. Now the other big thing is, so this was bought in March. Okay. So let's look at the interior. Yeah, man, this was a flip. But the big thing is this was last summer. And like, ours is a much bigger rehab than this. Right? This house was in good condition. They just updated some stuff and slapped in some paint. Like, this was pretty much a wholesale deal. Well, not wholesale, but this was like a paint and carpet. But they did pay 381. That's really high. I don't know who paid that. So honestly, dude, like, this would be the first buyer that I would call for this house. But so the other big thing, yeah, and honestly, bro, I don't know if this dude made money. Like, that's narrow. If you bought it for 381, put money into it, if you're paying realtor fees and stuff on the back end, that's tough. But yeah, the other thing is this is above that 300 price point. So like, our guys really don't like flipping above 300K. That ARV, that, like, that between 400, 500 ARV or like 500 plus, like that's that kind of that median to where it's you know, it's definitely, it's a step above the median price point, right? That sub 300, that like 250, that's way above the median price point. But it's also, it's not really like luxury. So it's kind of that small box where it's like, no, people still need financing for these homes typically. They're expensive, but it's like, hey, it's not like luxury homes where it's like, dude, like we're marketing these homes to people that like they can just buy these cash. Like the money's not the issue. Money's still an issue for these people, but it's just they make more than kind of that median price point, right? They can afford something a bit more expensive. But the buyer pool is smaller for people at this price point. So that's why our guys, and especially with a correcting market, like this is the exact kind of house that gets hit the hardest. And this is the house that a lot of our guys want to stay away from. These kind of deals. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody else can buy it at this price, and maybe they will work out another deal, but that's okay. My guys, they're not. And the thing is, because we've already had a few conversations with them, right? I've already had some conversations with my guy where I'm like, oh, can you take a look at this? And they're like, yeah, dude, I'm not really interested in things over 300, right? So if I were to do that again or to keep doing that, then it's like you're breaking rapport and your buyer's not going to want to talk to you. Why? Because it's like you're not listening to them. They said, hey, they're not interested in this. Unless I was convinced this was a smoking deal. Like if this was 2,000 square feet, different conversation. Very different conversation. But it's not. It's the smallest. And it needs like a good size rehab. So yeah, it'd be kind of difficult. I had a missed call from Dexter. What time we got? We got 10:56. Let me call Dexter. Let's see what Dexter's got going on. Hey, Dexter, it's Nathan. Sorry I missed your call, but give me a call or shoot me a text whenever you get the chance. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye. All right. Not sure what he wanted. Cool. Well, guys, that pretty much brings us to the end of today. Dude, I still got so many privy emails I got to go through. So where are we going with this house? We'll pass it. And what I'll do is this is one to where like I will follow up in a few weeks. Whoops, what did I do? Undo that. What color do we want to make for that? Make it like a salmon color or something. And dude, that's like a legit thing. So with flipping, you know, hey, is there something wrong with the house? Is it a bigger project? And she was like, no, they just bit off more than they can chew. That could mean a lot of different things. It could mean they're like way too exposed and they're like hemorrhaging cash, right? Because like they could have gotten caught and they could have. That's the thing with flipping is you got a lot of money going out into your flip projects and you're hoping that when they sell, you get these really big checks coming back in. But if you've got a ton of money going out and you're like, yeah, I'm getting the next deal set up, and market shifts a bit, and ooh, all of those didn't quite sell at what we were really hoping they would sell for. And like a few went over budget, a few went longer than expected, and it's like, dude, you can get punched in the mouth hard flipping houses. That's why we like wholesaling, right, guys? So we kind of skip all that. So, but that's why they're able to make bigger paychecks. It's a much bigger risk. So this guy, it could be a thing to where, you know, she's like, yeah, they're not interested in anything less than 330 right now. But guys, like distressed sellers, that's all it is. It's a seller with distress. So many of your deals are going to come from other investors, like tired landlords or tenants, right? But even situations like this, guys, where it's like they just pick up too many deals, and they're like, bro, like I can't do, or like, hey, I had 1 or 2 issues pop up on these other houses. I need cash right now. And that's why there's a value to them selling at a discount to an all cash offer, someone like us. So it's not just like your typical, you know, retail seller or homeowner that you're able to provide value to. Like even investors, you know, are able to find value in wholesalers. So guys, we'll wrap it up for there today. We will be live tomorrow. Tomorrow will be day 25, man. Day 25 of our 30-day challenge. So I will be here live on YouTube only on the Nathan Payne channel, 9 a.m. Eastern. I'll see you guys then. Until, take care, guys. Be good. Go create some relationships and make some offers. Catch you guys soon.